it's all up to you. You have the heart of a lion.
I do like a good chamomile.
My cat deleted, so I made a big batch and typed it all on the computer, and then I went back and my cat had deleted everything and typed in JKKKFFF. Let's see.
That's the best part.
We
of
are
that.
live, baby.
And we are
Hello.
live. Yay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to W.I.L.D, the podcast. I'm your host, Diana Kouprina, coming to you live on Jess TV, 24/7 Roku TV, Meta TV, and the NCG television network. You can also catch up on all our past live episodes anytime on wildthepodcast.com. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Cameron Jewell, founder of Community Nourishment, and who will not only be co-hosting this episode with me, but also a few upcoming ones as well. Yay, I'm really excited. I love all our conversations. And yes, you will be replacing Ashton just for a little bit while she takes time to rebuild her home after devastating fire. Our hearts are with her. She begins the journey of healing and restoration. This specific episode, we're diving in deeply into personal and universal topic of grief and how we begin to reclaim the self in the aftermath of loss. Whether you're navigating sorrow, healing from heartbreak, or simply learning how to be whole again, this conversation is for you. W.I.L.D, the podcast is proudly sponsored by W.I.L.D Homes and Gardens magazine and by Borderline, a poetic memoir, my debut. A book? Where is it? Here it is. It is available now on Amazon Canada and Barnes and Noble. So support
Yeah.
and let's just dive in. And we're talking about grief and loss. And Cameron, you just experienced a loss.
You know, and Ashton too. There's so many different
I was
levels
thinking
of,
that. I was reading the intro. I'm like,
home.
Ashton,
Yeah.
to lose a home, that is such a
Everything
big
in it.
devastation.
Yeah. So shout out to Ashton. That is, and I think that really helps to lead us into how many different kinds of losses and grief, you know, different types of grief that there is to experience. And I think all of them deserve to be recognized and honored as such. Like you and I were just saying before we went live, how we were kind of gaslighting ourselves for feeling emotional over losing pets, you know, like, oh, it's just a cat or just a dog, and how that doesn't really serve us.
It doesn't, worry about bigger things.
Right. Like, or just Ashton losing her home and everything in it is just as, you know, it's equivalent to losing an animal. It really is. Like, it was a way of life. It was her memories,
everything, belonging, where you look back, you reflect where you've been, and it's not like, it's sporadic. It's a continuous way of life. This is your home. You come home to this. I can't.
Yeah. It changes your whole life.
It's your being, and then it doesn't exist. Like, it's
and then you're displaced. And so I've been thinking about this episode all day, and a big thing that I want to honor is that I'm still pretty deep in the process of grief. So much so that it's interesting. Something that's really been tripping me up is like, even after losses, we still have to go on, and bills still have to be paid, and things still have to be done. And it's so frustrating. And I was nervous because it's Wednesday and I get up super early on Wednesdays, and it's 9 o'clock here, and all of these things, and I'm tired, and I almost wanted to cancel, and I might not be able to show up as my best self because I'm grieving. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to show up and not put this pressure on myself to be in any kind of way.
Just bring your authentic self. And I wanted to touch this topic. I didn't want to trigger or push you too much, but I think that experience, losing, your dog who you've had for, you said 16 years. That's a long time. That is routine. That is ritual. That is a spiritual connection that is definitely there. And then physically, it's all gone. And you have to start all over. And then you imagine, how do I do it? And it almost feels you're missing. It's almost like missing a limb. You're missing a part of you that was attached.
And the biggest thing for me, she was so protective. And I had her
Mhm,
through some very like I got her when I was 15. I moved out of the house when I was 12. I was in a lot of dangerous, sketchy situations.
mhm.
And she would sleep next to me. And if anybody approached me, she would wake me up by growling at them. She wouldn't let them get close. I almost got robbed once when I was like 16 or 17. And the guys opened my door and tried to grab me out. And she jumped over me and attacked them. And so she's the only thing in this life to protect me. My parents didn't protect me. I've never
Mhm.
had that. It was just her. And even though she was so old that she physically could not protect me anymore, she still wanted to. And you could
Yeah.
tell when people would come over, she'd want to bark and she
Well,
would
the
bark at them.
energy, and you feel it more obviously when they're alive and they're physical beings. You feel it and it's there, and you're like, yes, you're guiding me. I feel protected. I can do
Like
this
this
today, or
living
I can
being
do that
loves
today.
me. And so
Yes.
now I've got these other two dogs, which I love. I have a 3-year-old and like a 8-month-old, and I love them. But my 3-year-old, she's kind of a baby, and my
Mhm,
8-month-old, I'm not sure yet. And so I have this fear, like, oh man, did I raise, because like Brooklyn, the one who passed, for the first 4 years of her life, nobody was allowed to pet her. I didn't let
mhm.
people pet her, and I kind of raised her up to be protective. So now I'm like, do I need to get another dog so I can train it to protect me and all these things? And I'm also recognizing Brooklyn dying has started a new phase in my life. And
Mhm.
I'm working on letting that fear go to say, you know what? No, I'm safe now. I don't need to be
I was
worried
just
about.
gonna say, you're so safe right now. So, right, you've built this amazing life. You have this amazing community. You do so much. And I know previously we've touched upon everything you've been through, and I think your life is just, it blows my mind every time I hear your story and everything you've been through. So, of course, that's to
And it's
have
like
that.
logically I know this, but getting my
Of course.
body to be
Oh
like,
yeah,
hey,
that's a whole another level. And the fact that you have to go back almost in time and revisit all those memories because you want to hold on to them, right? And the only way to hold on to those memories is also go back to the painful ones and unleash them and say, this is what we lived through. This was what I made it to here. And I feel like animals are such spiritual beings. They really do give us that unconditional love, and
oh,
they
for no reason.
and just this, you know, kind of I just I'm convinced that it's completely spiritual, that relationship we have with our pets. I can't define it any other way. My own experience with losing my cat just a few years ago, and I allowed myself to feel that one. Like that, I felt that one. I didn't gaslight. I felt it. I really wanted to get another cat, but didn't even, realize how it would happen. There was just so many obstacles. And randomly, a cat just found us who was like almost same marking, same identical. And it just really fit in with my narrative that I was telling my daughter to just soothe her with, a cat is going to find us. There's going to be a cat. And she would question me. She's like, we live in Belmont, Massachusetts. It's like one of those really big, like a little suburb right next to the city. There's no random cats. There's walking around. There's no strangers.
They're all in
Unless I go
strollers, okay?
door to door trying to kidnap some cat, there's no way this being is going to manifest into our lives if we're not putting in the effort or searching for them. But it happened. This little kitten needed a rescue. My sister randomly locked eyes with this kitten who was like flea infested, and this was completely in a different country. This is Yerevan, Armenia, and it's a lit moon. Mount Ararat, as my sister explains it, is like right behind them. There's this old little grandmother lady being like, I don't like cats, but that kitten is gonna die. I watched dogs rip apart her whole family. If you don't take her, she's gonna die. My sister's like, ah,
I'm taking her.
she took her, right? She wasn't even thinking, I have another animal. I'm gonna bring a flea infested kitten in here. She was just in rescue mission. And she took her, and I still didn't believe that this kitten was magically going to appear in America, but she did, right? And it was like,
Wait, what I'm really thinking about when you're talking too is like, you saying that you allowed yourself to feel that, and then,
Mhm.
you know, the magic that was able to come in through you, that
Mhm.
allowance, and me, I allowed myself to feel it the first day, and I've kind of shut it down, and it really hasn't done, you know, that's not fair to myself because it doesn't even set in until time goes on.
No. Yeah.
But shutting down to the pain of it, I'm also not feeling like a lot of joy or optimism or hope, and I'm just
Right.
in a slump.
Yep.
Um, and then I know you saw what I posted today at the market today. This man just came up to me, and a full grown man, his eyes are
Mhm.
welling up with tears, and he looks at me and he says, "I'm hanging on by a thread right now." And I just felt it so deeply. And I was like, wow, man, people are really going through it. And I know in the past, like I've been able to overcome so much and I
Mhm.
radiate so much joy because I transmute that pain, that now I'm kind of holding something away from people that could
Yeah.
help them because I'm not a feeling, and I'm
Mhm.
not you know, transmuting that pain. You got to feel it to transmute it, and I'm not doing that. And there's
Absolutely.
so many people are suffering that, like, yes, to honor my feelings, like I get to suffer too and mope around, but it's not really helping, you know.
It's
um
not, because then you're kind of stuck in stagnation. And that is, I want to say, the story of my life. And I didn't really unlock any of that. Really, writing helped. So the memoir writing really, really helped me kind of unlock and put away all that guilt, shame, and that fear of abandonment, because I had experienced so much loss. You know, I've experienced death, I've died myself, and I still was gaslighting myself out of believing what I really should have believed, because, I have a mental health issues. And if I open up to my psychiatrist about all this, like, are they going to label me with another, you
yep.
know, personality disorder? Like, I have, I want to say it's in remission. I want to say it's healed, but I don't believe it ever actually goes away. BPD. I think it's there. And when we feel big emotions, or when big things come, it kind of comes in and starts blocking out those things, and kind of makes us gaslight ourselves and kind of be like, no, 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 we're going into this different mode where we can spiral and completely
And you
deny
know, so what
ourselves the
I'm
truth.
thinking is, you say that, like BPD. No, I don't. Just like my CPTSD, I don't think it's something that just goes away or there's
Hmm.
a fix. And I think it
Hmm.
would serve us to view grief as that too. Like it's not something we're
Absolutely.
getting through. So some of the things that I like to do, and for the people that are listening, I think it would be helpful to like arm them with things if they
Hmm.
don't
Oh,
know.
absolutely. Yeah.
One of the, like, drinking tea, just if I
Hmm.
can make myself, I try to drink at least one of these a day, and I love keeping it in a French press because it just makes it super easy. I'll put it in, pour the hot water, and I'll wait 20 minutes or longer before pushing this down. Boom. When I'm done, I dump it out in the garden,
That is
start
such a
another one.
creative idea, to
It's
just to
so,
keep it
yep.
in the French press. It makes sense.
And you
Absolutely.
can only really, it works best with like flowers and leaves and
Hmm.
stems, things like roots and barks. You want to boil those because they're more dense. But just little things like that, like making sure I'm drinking my tea. I worked hard. Not everybody will have this. It took me years to develop it, but having a community and
Oh,
just
yeah.
friends and family, like that is so huge. And that's something that, unfortunately, if you don't have it, you've got to go out and actively seek it, and that takes time. But really, if anybody out there, you
Yeah, and
feel
it
like
really
you,
it forces you to step out of comfort zone, right? Because especially if you're going through a loss or you're grieving, the last thing you want to do is step out of whatever comfort it is. For me, usually it's being hidden in my bed under blankets and just not moving. Uh,
yeah,
I can go days like that, one
for
day
me,
goes
it's
into another.
overdrive. I'm
I
just
have though.
exhausted.
I flip flop. I
Yep.
have. It's up and down, and before, for me, it could shift in daily, right? So within a day, I could feel a set of emotions that could trigger, some sort of either an overdrive or severe depressive episode, um, or just, spiraling out into a psychosis type of mode. And it was just a continuous battle. And I always try to, well, heal it by obviously self-medicating. And so, drugs, that was the easiest way, because if you're having, what worked best for me was opiates. I mean, for some reason, I don't know why they energized me. Maybe they took an extra level of anxiety that I already had with this. I also was diagnosed with CPTSD as well. So I think it took away that level of anxiety or something and let my kind of natural whatever that was so hidden, God knows where, kind of peek its head. But
I'm the same way. Back, like, I think I tried an opiate like 3 or 4 years ago for a toothache, and it actually made me tired for the first time. But back in my active addiction, opiates gave me energy, and I think part of it
yes,
was like the physical pain, the
yeah.
inflammation. I just couldn't
hmm
feel it anymore.
And it goes
It's like,
away, and you're like, I am so light. I can
yeah,
do anything.
I could do stuff. Yeah.
I can fly. I can do stuff.
And
And
I'm not
like,
gonna lie, when my dog passed, like I thought about drinking, I thought about
mhm.
drugs. And I've been sober for 10 years. And when I don't really like the word sober. For the last 10 years, I've decided to build a life that I love so much that I don't want to do
Yeah,
drugs, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I
Um,
think I agree with that because I've been toying with the word sober, and I'm like, well, what does that mean? Because I quit cold turkey. Now, what that also means is that I was quitting heroin and benzodiazepine. Now, when you're going through those crazy withdrawals, yes, I would drink just to ease those symptoms. Do
yeah.
I consider that it was for me falling off the wagon? No, because I was having grand mal seizures, and it was, I could have died easily. And
Just
there's
I don't
no
like the
hospital I
term.
could have gone to. So what? I can't get an Ativan. You know how they're going to do it in the hospital. So yes, I'm going to have those shots.
Yeah.
Today, for alcohol, I have no I don't like being drunk. I've never enjoyed that feeling. Give me,
And there's
some
also
heroin. I'm
uh,
your girl. I'll party all night. But
now I've done a lot of
drinking
work in
was
the
never I
recovery
don't like that
communities.
drunk tipsy feeling. I don't like when my head starts spinning, like, or I have to throw up. So if like I need like a speedy kind of drug, and then I can drink. So I need
Yeah.
needed this continuous kind of crazy balance, always trying to find a crazy balance, and half of it was always trying to self-medicate because I wanted to feel light. I didn't want to feel, inflamed and heavy, like I can't move.
Yeah. And back to what got us on that track,
hmm
and like sober or the term recovery. I've done a lot of work in the recovery communities, and they really mostly just replace it with nicotine and Dunkin' Donuts.
hmm
And it perpetuates this victim mindset. And I tell people, like, no, I'm not in recovery. I wasn't in an accident. Like, I chose to get high, and now I choose to not get high. But I had to work really hard to build a life that I loved enough to where that just doesn't appeal to me. And
You just don't want
ultimately,
to. There's no reason. And
why
even
are
when
we
you
using
take
in the first place, right?
exactly, and then when
Yep.
you take the drug, right? So when was it? I don't know. A few years ago, thought I was feeling anxiety. A friend gave me a benzo. I took it. I didn't like it. It made me tired. I felt like this is not my brain. This is not fun. What? I don't.
I want to go to sleep. Imagine that.
What is this? I
You've
don't.
healed so much.
Yes, and to me that was the truest test because now I know there's never going to be a day where I'm going to be like, oh my God, I need to run out and score or do this because I'm feeling this way. I felt so many ways in the past 16 years that reflecting back, not a single one was where I ran back and I, started using because
I
I was,
remember my big moment where I was like, wow, I made it. I was leaving St. Augustine and going to the Panhandle, which is about a 6.5 hour drive. And I was meeting my mother there. She was visiting my nieces, and I had not seen my mother in like 5 years at this point. And my mother, I hesitate to say I haven't seen her in a long time, but she definitely was an addict. And I will never forget it. I came in and I saw my nieces. There was three at the time. I have four now, and I'm just so excited. I surprised them. They didn't know I was
yeah,
coming. 20 minutes into it, I go into the kitchen and my mom tells me to open my hand, and I do, and she puts four like oxy 10 milligrams in my hand.
that's
And
so sweet,
oh,
right?
yeah. And I just remember, first of all, I had forgot she even got them prescribed, which is huge for
hmm
coming from where I came from, to
Oh
just
yeah.
forget that she gets
To just
those.
forget,
Yeah.
I know
see, I
those
had
moments.
that.
I knew everybody who had the pills. I knew where they kept them,
Yep.
which cupboard, how to get there. And
Yep.
of course, I always denied it. I didn't do it, but I stole much of Adderall and much of Xanax from a lot of my friends back in college. Like,
Yeah.
and
And so it all came rushing at once. And I was like, wow. But then I got kind of overwhelmed with anxiety, like, oh man, what do I do now? You know? And I remember I
yeah,
took half,
do I want it? Is a part of me being like, what if I want it?
like,
What if
aren't I
it's calling
supposed to
me?
take this? Like, it was crazy, and I took half of one, and I felt so sick that I gave her the rest back and asked her to not do that ever again. And she was shocked that I gave them back, and I think she felt really bad about herself, you know.
Hmm.
But that just, I was so proud. I was just like, wow, Cameron, you are a completely
I
different
don't,
person.
you don't, exactly. It just does not hit the same. And it's such a mind blowing experience where you're like, wow, I don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care.
And so with my
You
dog
know?
dying, I'm not gonna lie, like the thought came up, like, man, I should just go get a bottle of tequila. I should drink this
Mhm.
away. And I didn't. And so even though I'm like not feeling like I should, there's still so much that I'm also not doing. So I'm just, what I'm working on is a lot. I work too much and I do too
Mhm.
much. And with death will show you so quickly how precious life is. And I just had like this big trip of like, what are we doing? Why are we doing
Mhm.
it? There's so much pain and suffering and nothing makes sense. And I'm just working 90-hour weeks for what? To care more
Right.
about people's health when they don't even care about their health? Like, and so then I wanted to just like throw everything away, hop in my truck and go,
And
be a
just, yeah,
gypsy for the rest of my life. But I'm not going to do that. But it's going to take time. Like I'm learning how to just earlier I laid in bed for like an hour with something over my eyes and just laid there with some beats going. And it was awesome because my brain's like, no, you have all this time. You could be doing this or writing that and doing this and
yeah.
that. And it's
You're,
just,
you're, you're wasting. Go move, 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 move. Hustle,
yeah,
hustle. Why are you stopping? Why are you stopping? Keep going, keep going. You need to, make more, hit better
yeah,
numbers, sell more, do this more, do
yeah.
all
How
of
are you going
it.
to make
It's not
money? How are you
enough.
going to,
It's not showing. And it's a continuous kind. And sometimes you need to really step back. And I think with manifestation, sometimes the best way is to kind of stand back and go into stillness and really reflect with gratitude where
yep,
you've been, how far you've come, and how even in the past year your desires could have shifted, right? So I remember last year I was still kind of going, "Ooh, I'm writing a book. Oh wow, 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 wow. What does that even mean? Oh my God, I'm writing a book. Oh, this is so surreal." Right. So I was writing the book, then the book was written, and I'm like, oh my God, I wrote a book. I don't even feel it. I don't even, what does that even mean? And it's just hitting me where I'm like, okay, wait, stand back. Like, I'm like, I need to be the bestseller. Like, we're not hitting the numbers. It's not number one on Amazon yet. It was once, but what happened? Like, why? Like, so much that it's like, no, you need to step back and reflect. And I'm able to step back now and reflect and be like, wow, just 10 years ago, I would have never believed that I was capable of writing a book. Um, you know, 16 years, I was not able to even sit down and probably do any of this, what I'm doing now. That was not even in that realm. Um, so it's just, those little steps. And I think it's hard, especially if you're grieving, to kind of have those reflective moments because you have to go back to the darker moments too, right? And you have to revisit and you have to sit with it and you have to feel that and you have to feel that presence that you're really letting go. But at the same time, what also helps me now through a loss, and my grandmother passed away, I want to say last year. It was the cat and then my grandmother. It was just like one after the other. And that was really hard. Um, I thought I would see her again with all my immigration. I thought I would have a chance to finally see her before she passed. And I didn't. So I didn't get that closure and I wasn't able to go to the funeral. So none of that happened for me. But what did happen was I was able to tap into my spirituality. Um, and really, I felt her presence. And it was so hard to just even sit with it. Like I could hear her, I could feel her, I could hear, everything. Like I felt her. I saw black butterflies that summer surrounded me. Like they were just everywhere. Haven't seen them since, but that specific summer they were there. And of course, I would dive into research on like what's spiritual meaning of a butterfly, because I'm still got like my body, my soul is like, this is the truth, and I'm still being like, no, hold on, Google knows best. I am going to Google it.
I know God is going to speak to me through Google right now. And you know,
He's going to
whatever.
confirm it. Google is going to tell me that's God, you know, and it kind of did help, because kind of Google was like spiritual meaning of butterflies. And then I did a lot of, dove into really NDEs and near-death experiences. I had one, and I felt like it's time to reclaim it, because I felt such a spiritual connection, and I was so tired of gaslighting myself out of it. Like being like, no, that didn't really happen. Oh, maybe the doctors exaggerated. Oh, you know, maybe you didn't really die. Like it was just a big exaggeration. Like, the joke's on you. Maybe you never had those grand mal seizures. Like, what? That probably didn't happen either. Like,
So was the near-death experience associated with like the withdrawals?
no, actually, I died from a methadone overdose.
Okay.
So my ex-husband, he finally got methadone take-homes. I don't know if you know about the methadone process. Anyway, he got the take-homes. And during that time, our favorite little hobby was he gets my benzos, I get his methadone, and everyone's happy. Because for me, methadone was hitting like heroin. I never shot it up. I only snorted it. And methadone was having the same effect. The only thing I didn't like, that it was an instant, because methadone is time released.
Yeah.
So this I remember even what I was wearing. I remember what I was thinking. And I was like in touch with my high muse. I was feeling like writing like a Hemingway. I was like, I am a drunkard. I'm a drug addict. I'm just like Hemingway. I'm going to create magic. And I kept going into his safe, because I knew the password, and taking out the little methadone bottle and just taking little nips of it, you know, like sip here, sip here. I probably finished half of it. Now, mind you, he's on 200, maybe more than 200 milligrams.
Okay.
I drank probably over 100 something.
Wow.
Yeah. I felt crazy euphoria. Everything's great. I remember how I went to sleep, and what happened after in my mind was that I was connected with my grandmothers who had passed, who I hadn't seen, and I felt amazing love, and I really wanted to stay because I didn't feel any pain. Like this was just blissful. Like if I can recall, like the whole smooth transition of me having this Hemingway writing kick, and then I go, you know, I make love to my husband. I'm feeling all sorts of ways, and then I just go to sleep, and I'm surrounded by my grandmother's love, and that was so precious to me, because they were the ones who actually showed it to me. After that, my parents were not really affectionate, so it was, oh my God, like I feel it. They exist. This exists. This is real. I made it. I want to stay.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like and then somehow we transitioned from like my bedroom. We transitioned through a tunnel. There's a light, and I'm like, I'm going that way with you. And they said, no, you have to go back. Bye. Like we love you so much, but this is you have purpose. And I was like, I have no purpose. I want to stay.
Yeah.
But no, I woke up, and I was freezing cold, and waking up was the most terrifying experience ever. I don't know if you've ever woken up from like any kind of loss of consciousness or anything in the hospital.
Not in the hospital, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this was in the hospital, and it was like, the doctors are over me. There's this light. I can't speak. I feel something, you know, I had a catheter in place. So I'm feeling like all different probes all throughout my body. I don't know what's happening here. I can't speak at all. But I can just, all I'm doing is shaking, because I was so cold. Like even just stepping back into that memory, I can still feel the cold. It was brutally cold, and it was terrifying. And the scariest thing I heard was, you realize you were dead. You're lucky to be alive. Who gave you the methadone? And I'm like, ah.
Their line of questioning right away is always baffling to me. The treatment that people
And then,
get in
and then they
hospitals.
leave the room and they're going to come back and there's cops too. And I'm like, oh, and I have my ex-husband's mother being like, you can't say anything. You didn't get it from him. He's like, you can't say anything. You didn't get it from me. I'm like, like, oh my God. Oh, it was, that was but the whole experience was not scary. So
Yeah, coming
it
back
was
from reality is often scarier than the
it was even, and then for years I just gaslighted myself out of the experience. Yeah, just
Yeah, so I
like,
think like, to circle back to the grieving, um yeah, and I needed that reminder too. And it's just like just showing up. We don't have to show up perfect. I didn't want to work today. I definitely didn't want to work Saturday. And I have this energy where because I am very high energy and I'm pretty
mhm,
positive and I'm always smiling and making jokes that when I'm down, it shocks people and even like shakes them a little bit. So then I had to like work through that responsibility that I was bearing. Well, I need to
mhm,
be happy to make sure other people are comfortable, and finally I've shed that too. I'm not mean to other people, but I'm not going to pretend to be happy just because that's who you expect me to be. But I still,
right,
it's a really interesting mental process, the back and forth with the guilt tripping and the owning and all
mhm,
of that. Um, and just regardless, life just keeps going on. Like last week, I buried her on Monday. My birthday was on Tuesday, and I got my cycle on Wednesday. And it was just a really,
that's
just,
a lot.
it was a
I'm
rough
sorry.
week. And
That you need to give yourself space,
and
obviously
I
just it's
ate 2
okay.
pizzas. I ordered some pad thai. Like I did not eat well last week and I was starting to feel that flare up. I didn't exercise one time
Mhm,
last week and I was going to beat myself up, but I said no, there's no point in beating myself up. So this week I got back into it. I exercised. I got back on a round of my like intense herbals that I use from when cuz I was feeling some Crohn's flaring up from how
mhm,
poorly I was eating, and just giving myself grace. Hey, it was a rough week. It was only a
yeah.
week. You did a great job, Cam. Like you chose pizza instead of booze. All right.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't work
see,
out.
little accomplishments, and I think it's so amazing that you're able to do that.
Yep.
And for anyone who's listening who's struggling and doesn't have the ability to do that, I think let's touch a little how you even got that ability because that's such a big step.
Um,
To be able to make that acknowledgement, like I got pizza instead of doing this, and I can congratulate myself without
a lot of the things
trying
that
to steal it from yourself.
I think it's just come with I've been dedicated over the last decade to
Hmm.
evolution and one of the biggest things for me is I don't have anybody to fall back on out here. I don't have parents. It's me out here. Now I have a
It's
great
just you.
community
Yeah.
that supports me, but I have no other choice. So
Yeah.
okay, cool. I could choose to get drunk, not show up, beat myself up, but
Hmm.
I'm all I've got. I am my
Yeah.
foundation. So I can't do that. And
I
even
feel you.
sure,
Yeah.
I could have chosen to go another week of not
Mhm.
exercising and eating poorly. And some people you might need that. That's great. Take 2 weeks, take 3 weeks, but make sure that you don't stay in that because it's harder
Yeah.
to get out of it once you've been in it for so
Because
long.
I call it the uncomfortable comfort where you
Yep.
kind of, because it's cozy, right? It's like,
It's familiar.
yeah.
Like we got a PlayStation a few months ago because my fiance doesn't speak a whole lot of English yet, and we're learning, and it's just a great way for us to bond. But it brought
Yeah.
me back to my teenage years of playing a lot of Xbox and doing drugs
Hmm.
and all the things, and this feeling. I remember just how simple things were back then. I didn't have to worry about as much. I just was getting high and playing and doing what I want and all the things, and feeling that it's like, oh, part of me like wants that simplicity again. There's even
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, man, I sometimes I miss the 9 to 5 where you just go work for someone else and you come home and work's done. But now I
Yeah.
work for myself, so it's like it's all the
And
time.
that's a different type of hustle. That's
Yeah.
kind of,
And
that
so
doesn't stop.
when
And the
you're a drug
mental
addict,
too.
you have that goal. Okay, my goal is to
Hmm.
get high today. Boom, I reached that goal, and then you enjoy the high, and then boom, next day comes. Okay, this is my goal. I've reached that
Yeah.
goal. The goalpost is really low then, and now it's not so low. And the goals I have take time and effort and consistency, and it's
Hmm.
it's really hard. So I know for me, like And I work with a lot of people. I tell them, like, don't give yourself another option. Honor your feelings, take your time, slow down if you have to, but also remember that life is going to go on and
Yeah.
you've got to do what you've got to do. So if I were to continue to eat like that, I'd be so sick. I have goals for my body, and if I quit working out, I'm not going to reach them. And I already, like, I put on 5 pounds last week just from inflammation. My
Oh
intestines were
yeah, I can
inflamed.
inflame up to
Yep.
yeah, I swell up, especially in heat, and you're in Florida. I'm in
Yeah.
it's really humid here. Ooh, I swell up. Yeah, I really need to focus on really anti-inflammatory, and I try to focus on natural ways.
Well, and
I
moving
don't
just
even like
helps a
taking a
lot.
Tylenol, to be perfectly honest.
Like
Um,
Tuesday, what was yeah, yesterday I made myself get up at 6:30. I didn't want to. I was actually up at 5:30 so I could be out there exercising. It felt great. So now I'm like, all right, tomorrow I'm doing it again. I usually don't work out on Thursdays, but I needed it. And it's the last thing I want to do. But when I was done, I was just like, oh, well, I haven't felt this in
it's
days.
done. You know, you can finally feel that feeling of done, and I think that is such a potent manifesting kind of power where you can sit in the feeling of it's over. I did
Well,
it. It's
and for me,
done.
I've
Even
got a year now of consistent working out. So,
hmm
girl, you should see my legs. Oh my gosh. And so, like, when I was done working out and I took a shower, my muscles were popping. And I was
yeah,
just like, oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I've been working on, So
yeah.
I'm just going to do it 3 times this week. And also be sure that I don't overwork out because a lot of people use the gym and exercising to an unhealthy extent to cope
Oh
as
yeah, I
well.
was a professional at that. And when
Yep.
you do that, the problem with that is that you get to the point where you just don't enjoy the exercise. You don't appreciate it. You don't even I mean, I was severely anorexic at one point where I was just exercising nonstop. I would do yoga for 2, 3 hours a day. I was
Woo!
continuously stretching. And I was just obsessed with this like thing. And every time I look in the mirror, I would just see fat. So it was just completely a thing. And I had to overcome because there was a part of me that eventually got, and I'm like, no, I'm going to be healthy. And that part of me was like, well, that means I'm not going to exercise because when I exercise, I over exercise and I go crazy. So I
Yep.
have to, and I really had to work with finding a balance of like what exercise means to me
Yep.
and how I do it. And it just has, and really like making it become like a part of my day that I don't even notice I'm really doing it. And I'm not like gung ho about it. Like I cannot allow myself to get, because then I'll just go a little too crazy.
I'm developing such a passion for physical fitness that I'm actually in school right now to become a trainer. But when I tell you, so August will be a whole year of consistency, and I hated it the first probably 6 months, just
I can
dragging
imagine.
myself
Yeah.
there. My fiance telling me, no, you love going to the gym. And I'm like, F you, no, I don't. No, I don't. But I remember one night getting off of the couch and I almost fell backwards. And where I usually would fall back into the couch, I felt muscles in my back and my legs engage and pull me forward. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's what it's about.
Yep.
My body being able, I can like lift up and pull a heavy box off a
hmm
shelf with one arm. And I'm like, yes, that's what I'm doing
It
this for.
feels
And it
good.
just
It's a
shifted.
good rush too.
Yeah, it
It's
is. And now
sometimes you need it.
the
Again, if you're
sculpting
in that
part.
uncomfortable comfort, it's that little push that can really help out. And I've been in states of depressive modes where I didn't even, it would be hard for me to just even go outside and take a walk. But
Mm-hmm.
but once I did it, I came home feeling better than rather being completely locked out in my little in room staring at a TV or completely numbing myself out where I'm just not feeling like life is just moving, but I'm not. I'm just there in
I
this little
think that's
space.
why Brooklyn, like my dog that passed, I would not be alive today if it wasn't for that dog. And one of the biggest blessings where I live, I have to walk her every day, 3 times
hmm
a day. And because of her, even though I was just wanting to die, I still love this animal and the animal can't suffer. So
you're
I
gonna get out.
had to
You have
walk.
to. You
Yeah.
have
And
to.
what a big blessing, you know, in hindsight now, just like because of her, I had to get out 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, and so people ask me all the time, like, how do you do it, especially when you're in that slump? And it's so hard. And it is sometimes you do maybe gaslight. You know, I don't know if gaslight would be the right word, but just sometimes for me, I have to be like, hey, Cam, don't be a bitch. You know what I mean? Like, get your ass up and make some vegetables right now. Right now. And I have literally sauteed vegetables while crying and just salting them with my tears. But when your mind's not right, if
Yeah.
you can get something healthy and nourishing, that's why I love the tea and tinctures. I hit tinctures hard. And just get your nourish your body, it
Mm-hmm.
helps. And same when you're
Yeah.
nourishing your mind, it's helping your
Because
body.
that nourishment kind of helps you also take up a little bit more space in your body. And that's, I think, really important if you had CPTSD, you know, whatever, because I disassociate. I travel out, I'm somewhere else. I can completely tune out. And for me, where I can say, okay, my BPD is in remission is the fact that I'm not disassociating. Like right now, we're having a conversation and I'm fully present and I'm fully engaged with you. I'm not reading a script, I'm not acting, and I'm not masking. I'm just focused on you. I'm not even looking at the part in my camera where I could be worried about what my hair looks like usually. So I know I'm focused and I'm engaged. And for me, that's like, wow, okay, this is a good level.
So,
It
you
feels
know, with
really
the
grounding.
that's what I feel like when I have my flashbacks, which are a
Hmm.
symptom of my CPTSD that has come back up since my dog died. And what I like to share with people who can relate to flashbacks or even dissociation, holy basil is one of my most favorite for that kind of trauma. And I don't know if
Hmm.
I mentioned this in the one of the podcasts we did, but I want to mention it here for anybody who's listening who's experienced a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I love holy basil so much is because the hippocampus in the back of our brain is most responsible for processing memories,
Hmm.
especially taking short-term memories and turning them into long-term memories. But when we're exposed to a lot of trauma or a traumatic event, the hippocampus actually shrinks and it's unable to do that processing as well. So
Yep.
your body still thinks you're in that moment. Your brain
Hmm.
hasn't said, oh no, that happened. It's not happening. Holy basil stimulates the stem cells in the hippocampus, allowing it to re-expand and start processing that to let your body know, hey, we're not there anymore.
Yeah.
And that is one of my go-to. I have it in a blend that I put in my hot lemon water every morning with some St. John's wort. I put
Hmm.
it in my teas. I don't put it in my nighttime teas because it's not stimulating, but it's so uplifting. It uplifts your spirit.
Yeah.
Um, but it's another thing that I want to give credit to for saving my life, like holy basil. And you want to make sure it's the Osmium multiflorum. I'm probably not pronouncing it, or just the Tulsi variety. There's different varieties, but that Osmium one is the one you want.
I'm gonna need to get some. I want to grow some. You grow it, yes?
Yeah, it's really easy to grow. It is.
I need it in my garden. I'm lacking it. I have everything I wanted, but I definitely need that. It really, because
I
I
want you
love
to try
holy
my
basil.
stabilized tincture. It has holy basil in it, but it also has like albizia and motherwort, and a couple of other herbs that just I called it stabilized because it helps to just stabilize your emotions where you're not too high, but you're also not too low.
Yeah.
Oh, that's been a crutch for me over the last week, just pouring it. With my tinctures, I don't think I have one to show you, but I don't even use the dropper. I have a really cute glass that's crystal that I use. I put water in and I just pour. And depending on the day and what mood I in,
Hmm.
depends on how long I'm pouring for. But I just think, especially with severe things, I like higher doses. Where some people they can just smell it and they're like, oh, my heart has
Oh
opened. And
no,
like,
no, no,
no,
no.
I
I'm
love
not.
that for them.
No,
But
I'm
like,
jealous of those people. I'm just not one of them. I wish I was. Maybe, maybe one day I'll get there. I don't know, but I'm very like no.
and maybe we did so many drugs, our livers not, you know, but
I wonder.
but I don't think so
Um.
because I also like if I were to take something, I like I say, even when I took an opiate 4 years
Yeah.
ago, I felt it so much that I
Oh
was
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I felt it quickly. So I just plants are great allies, and especially when you know the person that made your medicine and they're not using extracts or concentrates,
Hmm.
the higher doses are safer. Like a lot of people don't know when you're buying turmeric extracts, turmeric supplements in the grocery store. If you read on the back, it actually says turmeric extract. So they are isolating constituents
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
concentrating them down. People, I have watched elderly kidneys start to fail. It's caused liver
Oh,
problems
wow.
because plants are like communities too. So you
Yeah.
have the main constituents that they're
Hmm.
like, oh, this is where the medicine's coming from, but it has all these other constituents that's its community to help it to do its job.
Right.
So when you
Yeah.
take those away from its community, you start getting side effects and things like that. So I'm really big on, and if anybody's ever listened to me talk about herbs and dosing high, I think it's important to say that. Like, I'm not saying go get your standardized extract from a store and dose that high. I use whole plants and as
Hmm.
much in my medicine that I make. So it's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. I never believed in, I mean, this was intuitively for me, but I just don't understand why only the main, because there's so much to the plant. There's,
Well, because they
it's
can't
like to a
patent
human
plants.
being like, well, the only important part is just your brain and you don't need anything else, right? It's kind of
Well, in
like,
the medicine world, it's because they can't patent plants. So when they
right.
take those constituents out, oh, they can
Then they
patent
can,
that.
right. And
Yep.
again, it's one of those and then we're dealing with, drugs and FDA and what's FDA approved and what's not FDA approved. And it's such a, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's such a financial corporate realm
Incentive.
now that
It is. Even herbalism, I hesitate to call myself an herbalist these days because I don't know what that means anymore. And there's just all of these TikTok herbalists and people getting fed, and they come to me like, well, I heard this herb does this. Well, that's not correct. Or like someone came, oh, I can't take St. John's wort because I'm allergic to NSAIDs. And I'm like, that is incorrect. That's not true. And there are so many people getting these like 30 to 60-day certificates in herbalism and starting an
Mhm.
herbal business. And I get it. I know people need to make a living. I have to feed myself off of it as well. But when it comes to healing and medicine and the plants, I think that if profit is your main goal, you're not in it for the right reasons.
Right. Because there's
And
so much healing energy. And I think we'll need to do a whole episode about that.
we should.
And we
We
will.
should.
We will, because I love our discussion. Sometimes I wonder if we can just continue doing this without even having other people join in the fun. But we will have a guest next episode. Um, and we will create an episode where we dive into the spiritual aspects of herbal herbs and
I would love that.
just
And
that
like, what does it
energetic
mean?
energy that is manifested when you're even doing it, and you can thanking the universe, thanking the earth for what you're receiving. It's such a beautiful process.
And the
And I think,
responsibility too. I don't think like I've been doing this work for almost 10 years now. And when you're really in it and you're working with somebody, you will, I think, and people say I'm wrong, but I don't care. Like I don't like the word healer, but part of the responsibility of being a doctor that I have taken on is like
mhm,
helping them to transmute that pain. And
yeah,
you
and
take
turn,
on a lot. You're not
yes,
just selling them products. Like it
no,
affects you
you're
mentally and
trying
physically.
to. Exactly. And that's such a long process, and you're doing amazing work. I love that we're doing this. I love our chats and discussions. I can't wait for our next episode. Cameron, thank you so much for being here on Wild the Podcast, airing on Jess TV, 27 Roku TV, NCG Television Network, www.jessfm.ca. And of course, you can catch all aired episodes on our website, wildthepodcast.com, and support us by getting Borderline, a poetic memoir written by me, edited by Ashton, published by Wild Press.
Yes.
Copy sold really does help us further our mission with Wild the Nonprofit. And the podcast, our mission is always to bring quality content to our viewers, to our listeners, with hopes to talk about really the tough topics we talk about.
Just
Because
real and raw.
by talking about the tough stuff, I think we can really heal. And I hope one day, we can even eradicate domestic violence. I think we can do so much by just being connected universally. And that is our aim. Thank you for supporting us, Cameron. Community Nourishment. Check
Yes,
that out.
I would like to throw that in there. If you guys want to check out the work that
Yes.
I'm doing out here, go to communitynourishment.org.
Communitynourishment.org, and I will post it. We'll make sure to post it on all our websites and
Thank you.
everywhere we're sharing. Communitynourishment.org. Cameron, thank you so much. For anyone who's listening, thank you for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you. Until next time, please, please, please love yourselves most, and then let that love overflow onto others. Take care of each other. Community is everything. And have a great night. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You're stronger than you'll ever know. Even in this, your darkest hour, you'll find your way back up. This I know. Love, suffering, just calm yourself down.
Hey, what's up, though?
Well, it's your gal Yaya, and you're here on Yaya's channel. Just kidding. We are here with a great J.U. Get over, I guess.
I mean, it's not about taking it over. She's new to it. She doesn't know how we do it. You know what it is. All right, you start it off again, and I'm going to keep you and interrupt. It's your man Jay Wu out here in the tropical paradise, and they say you don't bring sand to the beach, but alongside me I have the beautiful co-host Yaya.
Yaya in the building, and we have amazing news for you.
Well, we're outside, not in the building, and the sand is out here on the beach. We're here to talk about who got next hour on Jess TV.
Hey, and I know it is at Tuesday.
I guess.
You know, wait, let me do that. And I know it is at every Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Okay.
Oh, wow, yes. You can catch Demasha with the Zip Mouth Motivation Show. You can catch Jay Cabrera with Indie Vibing with Jay. You can catch Yaya with
Yes,
Reggae with Yaya.
all the time.
And we can't forget who got next on this video show. So stay tuned every Tuesday night, 10 p.m. right here on Jess TV.
Yes, it's your man
And your girl.
and your gal.
That's right.
All right.
Peace.
hard.